Unity recently released Unity Studio to make creating interactive scenes and 3D models much easier without needing to write code. Instead of programming, you can build experience using simple logic blocks in a creative and beginner way. Hello everyone and welcome back. In this video, I'm going to show you how I turn my Blender restaurant scene into an interactive experience using Unity. Usually in Blender, I render multi-images and animation videos, but the problem is not interactive, so I cannot see the difference between two environments if I want to see it in daylight and night mode. So I decided, instead of creating multi-videos, I decided to use Unity Studio to create interactive scene when you can switch between two environments by click on it in real time. Here I have the Blender file ready. I already created the full scene and added all the texture and the material to it. Everything is set up. So the only thing left now is exporting it to Unity. I prefer exporting it as a FBX file and include all the textures with it. So the import process into Unity will be easier and clean without messing files or materials. I'll create a draft project in Unity Studio so I can start building and organize my scenes there. Now I import the FBX file into Unity Studio. In the interface of the studio, you can see there is an option called Import Asset. After clicking on it, the file will start loading. After importing my scene, I can see that all the texture, the color and material are saved correctly inside Unity, which make it much easier to continue building and editing the project. Now I adjust the lighting. First, I work on the daylight setup. I make the scene bright and add soft shadow to give it more realistic look. You can also adjust the color of the light depending on the mood you want for the scene. After that, I create a night lighting option, and I adjust it carefully to match the scene and the render I made in Blender, so the final look in Unity stay close to the original design. Now, after I made the lighting, I create the logic to switch between day and night mode. First, I add when me is clicked on, so the logic starts when the user clicks the button. Then I add a condition block to check if the daylight is active. If the daylight is on, I turn it off by setting it to false. And then I turn on the night light by setting it to true. In the else section, I do the opposite. I turn off the night light and turn on the daylight again. With this logic, the scene can switch easily between day and night lighting. Now, to make the logic work, we need to set it up correctly. First, I add a box collider to the restaurant scene, so I can click on the scene and trigger the logic. Then I adjust the size and position of the collider and place it on top of the scene. After that, I add the logic that I created before. At first, the logic does not work correctly because I still need to connect the light to it. After connecting everything, I test the scene and the lighting switch work perfectly between day and night mode. To create this logic, we can follow the same steps we used for the environment light switch. First, I need to adjust the lamp material and make it brighter so it looks like the lamp is glowing. After that, I add a point light to the lamp to give it realistic lighting and make the effect look like more natural inside the scene. Now I create the lamp logic. First, I add when me is clicked on, so the logic starts when I click on the lamp. After that, I set the other to true, so the lamp light turns on. Then I set me to false, so the current lamp state turns off. With this logic, I can switch between the lamp off and the lamp on. I add some extra lights around the scene in night mode to make the environment look better and feel more realistic. With this, we now have a full interactive scene where you can switch the environment between day and night mode, and also turn the table lamp on and off.